Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann, your host here, where I am trying to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finance. So today's discussion, well, it's not a discussion, I'm the only one talking, is going to be scaling and modifying. And how do I do that? Not just in the workout, but with my energy, my intensity, and my schedule. So we're going to go through that. It's something that we talk about a lot, and I don't know, I have a lot of small conversations about it, and I should put it somewhere like here to sit. There's probably an episode I did a long time ago, but I'm sure it's always a good topic, and most of you don't go back and listen to old messages. So what would you do to scale, to modify, not just the workout, but also your intensity? So I think the big thing I'd throw at you is scale it down, show up anyway. That'd be the big topic. Before I jump into that, I'm going to slide through a couple things we're doing at the gym. So we have summer strength for students coming up. It'll start June 2nd. I started this back, maybe around 2010 for my daughter Olivia, and helped her with her soccer as they changed the age ranges. So it used to be in soccer, your team was created based on the age you were on August 1st. So her birthday is September 11th, so she was one of the oldest kids. Then they changed it to your birthday as of January 1st, and she became one of the youngest kids. So she's like, what do I do? I was like, I don't know. Actually, I do know. Let's come to the gym and have you start lifting because you need to be stronger, and that's going to help. And she came back and she was crushing, and the parents were like, hey, what'd you do? And I selfishly said, no, I'm not going to tell you. And then a bunch more of them asked, and I was like, yeah, I guess it would make sense for us all to be better. So we started the summer strength program based around soccer, but helping students become more acclimated to their body and to get stronger so they can use that on the field. This obviously helps a lot if you're a teenage boy going through puberty. Everybody else, we're going to get stronger in form of technique and ability, and you'll be smart with how you lift, and you can use that forever. But there is something about being a 17-year-old boy that just says you can eat anything you want and get muscles. You just have to lift a little bit. Okay, so that's summer strength. It is Monday, Wednesday, Friday through the summer. I also have under CrossFit, CrossFitGarage.com/free, a bunch of resources I've been creating, putting out. So if I've got some sort of podcast or episode that I do or thing for a person, I try to put it here so that you guys can get a hold of it. There's things like 60 easy, carnivore, 32 at-home workouts. Regain your mobility, 5 pillars of health and longevity, your blood pressure, lion diet playlist, your expiration date quiz, that's a good one, and so forth. So, matter of fact, I should check to see if anybody's filled that out lately. All right. I am also looking for ideas to change our giveaways or our awards. So currently, we do the 100 shirt, 500 shirt, and 1,000 shirt for those when you get to that attendance. And some of the people who got a 100 shirt are now getting a 1,000 shirt. So I think it's time, we've utilized this for a very long time. I should probably change this out. I'm not sure what to change it out to. I got a lot of ideas from coaches on here. So if you've got ideas, email them to me. I want to take a look at them. I just typed in to the internet, gym giveaways, and it came up with some stuff that I think is pretty stupid, but that's me. So I want to hear your ideas because you may have ideas that are awesome that I just have never even considered. Okay, other thing, on the 31st, men are going to Garland Mountain. I'm going to edit this a little bit. It was going to be like, hey, men, bring your boys. If you want to bring your wife to this, totally go ahead. I don't think that many people are signed up. So there was only initially like 5 of us in the group anyway, but I think only 3 of us or 2 of us can go at the moment. So bring who you want. September 20th, there is the Savage Blitz race. So talk to David about that. I also have a group me set up for adventure races and Savage races and stuff. So speaking of adventure races, on the same day, September 20th, is our not Blue Ridge, already did that one. It is the Blairsville Adventure Race. So I think there's about 10 people right now doing Savage and about maybe 6 of us signed up, but not everybody's from the gym. We're friends of friends that are doing this. We're also playing pickleball when the weather is okay, so we keep trying to set that up, and the weather keeps spoiling our fun. We got board game night on Thursday night, and we're playing some D&D randomly through the week and the month. If you're watching this, we also have this as an audio podcast called Fitness, Food, and Finance. If you're listening and you want to watch something, it's a podcast episode on at Andy McCann 42 on YouTube. Okay, the meat of the subject. Only 5 minutes to get there. If you go to CrossFit.com, you are going to see a lot of information that'll probably fill you up and be like, oh, this is good. This is all I need. And that is awesome. There is a piece in here that is movements. And actually, let me see if I can find that for you. Here we go. Weirdly, it's called CrossFit.com/CrossFit-movements, right? So they probably could have just called it movements, but whatever. They don't actually have the scaling options in any of this, so you're going to have to research that on your own. But I'll give you some ideas. They do cover air squat, front squats. Oh, I see what it is. It's the 9 foundational movements that they teach you. All of these lead to the other movements. So squat, press, and deadlift. Okay, well, outside of gymnastics. So what should you do? I think the big thing I want you to know is how you scale and modify a workout is not failure. It's helping you stay consistent and adapting to what's happening on the screen. So the screen or the workout of the day, it doesn't necessarily really matter. It's constantly varied. It's not random, so it does matter some. But if you can't do ring muscle ups and you're going to do pull-ups or something else, that's totally okay. I would adjust the workout. So on a ring muscle up, I would change it to a pull-up and a dip because that simulates both. But it could be a jumping pull-up and a seated dip. That's totally fine. You're still moving through that. And over time, gaining the muscle to eventually give you the ability to learn that skill. So we're going to cover some of those things. The other one is, what do you do when you just don't feel like it and your tank is empty and you're like, yeah, I don't really want to go. Come to the gym anyway. The reason is you want to keep up the consistency and the habit. Plus, come on, you guys know this. When you get there and people make you smile, you're like, yeah, this is good. So we're going to go through those sort of things right there. Another fun one is, this happens a lot with Alan Lindsay. I love it. He's like, with his Scottish accent, like, hey, whoa, I can't do it. He's like, why are we doing this after that? Doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to be able to do very well. Then later on, he texts me and he says, yeah, I got a PR. So sometimes when the programming doesn't make sense or your body doesn't feel it, you're like still able to perform. And so that's another reason you should show up. I think for me, the biggest one is I like the consistency and it moves some of the soreness off the body. Okay, so what does scaling actually mean? Scaling is different than modifying, and scaling would be simply changing the weight or the number. Modifying is changing the movement. So that's the difference in the ideas there. So an easy one is if I look at the RX versus our intermediate, the RX is usually way too heavy. So I'm already going to scale it, and they know this. So they drop back the weight for intermediate. Now, they scale the weight. Sometimes they scale the reps, and a lot of times they also scale or modify the movement, right? So it goes from chest to bar pull-ups to regular pull-ups or something, right? So you can change the loading down. The important part is to pick a load that helps you hit the intended stimulus. So it may just be the bar. That's okay. It's getting the elicited response out of the workout, right? So if you picked a deadlift, let's say the workout wanted you to do, 10 deadlifts in a minute. Well, if you picked your PR weight, so 300 pounds, and you did it once in a minute, you're not hitting the intended stimulus. We have heavy days, and those days do what they do. Then we have breathy days. Then we have muscle fatigue days, and we're trying to hit what they're asking for. One, for variance, but two, there's a thing called muscle confusion or body confusion. So we want to help break through plateaus or never have a plateau by always moving the workout around and allowing our body to do more if we rotate than if we did one. So think of like crop rotation. If we only did heavy lifts every day, it would be hard to do them day after day after day. Boring, but other things as well. All right, I mentioned the volume. So this is reps and rounds. So an easy one to hit the stimulus is like, let's say they're doing, they asked for 20 ab mat sit-ups each round. And they're saying, hey, it should take you about a minute. And you can only do 11 in a minute. Well, that's great. Just drop it down to a minute. That way you're not stuck on ab mat sit-ups the whole time, burning out your stomach. So this happens a lot in races. It's kind of funny. And I know it's happening and I should think about it more, but I usually just say, let's go. So we'll be in an adventure race. Not everybody mountain bikes at the same pace. Typically, I can get to the top or wherever it is that we're going. And I'm like, okay, let me look at the map and let me take a little bit of a break. So I put in the effort. I'm getting some rest. Then comes my teammate behind me and they pull right up. I'm like, all right, you're here. Are you ready to go? And they're like, well, I didn't even get a break. I'm like, yeah, but you were slower. Now, they're not slower just because they want to go slower. They're slower because that's where their fitness and ability level is. So I always have to stop myself and be like, hey, let me know when you're ready, because they would like a break too. So scaling the rounds and the reps isn't showing that you are unable. It's having that relative intensity exhibit on your body as well as somebody else. So for example, if we were going to do 1 minute of burpees and it was me and my brother, 1 minute of burpees, I know it takes me about 3 seconds to do a burpee. So I could get in 20, most likely 20 burpees. If I was really pushing it, I knew it was going to be over in a minute, I might be able to get 21. He's probably going to get like 15. And that's the numbers that we should go off of. So if we were doing this in the workout, he should know, okay, so 15 is my number. I don't want to go to 21 because that's really pushing it. I'm going to do 20 or maybe drop it back to 19. I think I could do that a couple rounds, right? So you want to adjust it down to hit the response they're asking for. So it's both reps, I went from 18 to 15 or whatever, and rounds. So maybe we're doing like Eva or something else that's got a lot of rounds in it, like 5 rounds. And you drop it down to 4 because, I could do the rest of it, but 4 is what I need to do. Will help me hit the intended stimulus or that time domain. That's totally fine. Okay, so the next one is the scaling or the modification of the movement difficulty. This usually happens because you're not proficient in that movement, and that's okay. Once you move into the gymnastics components, you need to adjust for where your skill is at. Most people don't walk into the gym and be like, hey, look at me, I can do all these pull-ups. That doesn't usually happen. So what I would do on that modification is use a scaling portion as well as a modification, because usually, just like going up the hill and being tired, it's going to get you tired doing the thing you're doing. And sometimes they're like, well, look, if you're going to do ring rows instead of pull-ups, we want 3 to 1 because they should be harder. Like, well, what if you're doing it because you're just not as fit? Okay, well then I wouldn't do 3 to 1. I'd do 1 to 1. If you're doing it because I just don't have pull-ups yet, I would actually do this a little bit different. I would do whatever the hardest pull-up you can do that still fits that time domain. So yes, I would still modify it, but I'd also scale it back a bit. So let's go with pull-ups. Let's say you're doing, Fran, it's 21, 15, 9 pull-ups and thrusters. So you're like, okay, 21 pull-ups. Now, actually, this isn't a good example because on Fran, I would say, hey, try to do it as RX as possible because it's a named workout and this is going to come up a bunch. Okay, so what if it's not a named workout and it's that workout anyway? Just go with me here. So I would take the 21 pull-ups and let's say you can do, I don't really kip. I kip kind of like weird, but I can, but not very much. Okay, so let's do 2 kipping and then we have a band that we can get on and we start doing banded pull-ups right after that. Totally fine. So now maybe you're doing the 21, maybe you've got the biggest band or 2 big bands. That's okay. You want to make them tough, but not undoable. So if you're going to band, you want to make them what they're supposed to be, which is what I did, 21 pull-ups. They're supposed to be in a row and all done at one time. Sometimes you can break that up, but if you were going to do like Fran as optimal, like speed through it, under 2 minutes, you're doing all of them straight through. So all straight through or maybe 1 or 2 breaks. That's what you're looking for. So what type of band is that? Well, that's up to you to find out. Maybe you use 1 band and then drop down, take a breath, put another band on, and then use 2 bands and then back that off for the next one, right? So you're allowed to scale in the middle of the workout or modify, yes, that'd be modifying in the middle of the workout. But I would take note, especially on a named workout, so you can come back and fix that. Okay, another way to edit the workout for your ability is to change the range of motion. Now, I would not do this simply to go faster. So let's say the movement is a clean and jerk, and you change it to just a clean. I wouldn't do that unless your shoulder's hurt. If your shoulder's hurt, yeah, totally do that. You're here. That's awesome. Change the workout. That's fine. Maybe just row. But if you're like, well, the weight's okay on my clean, but I totally can't do it on the jerk, well, reduce the weight so you can have the movement. Or if you're like, I don't have the jerk motion, but I can press, but I want to clean more weight and I can only press so much. Okay, so then you're like, well, if I drop the weight all the way down on a clean, I'm losing that stimulus. What I would do in that case is break it up into 2 movements. So I would do a clean with a heavier weight, and let's say, I don't know, it's 10 clean and jerks. I would do 10 cleans, and then move over to the rig or a different bar, pick it up and do 10 presses. So now it's a different weight, but you're having that same movement pattern. I've got that clean motion from the floor to my shoulders and then press overhead. I think that's a great way to go. So don't cheat the range of motion. Like I'm going to do back squats. Usually they don't come up in a workout just because it's hard to put them in there with, logistically, as well as going too much too far, like on a bench press or a squat, you're going to end up dropping weights, and we don't always want you to, just bail out of stuff. So be smart about your weight usage. Anyway, if you're going to cheat the range of motion and say, well, I'm going to do a 3/4 squat, you're missing a big point of why we're here. We want that full range depth because when you trip at 62, we want you to change it into a sexy dance. So we want you to be able to do something different than fall and break your hip. Okay. The other one is your pace or the intensity. This is something that I wouldn't really switch around unless you're not feeling it. So I'll sometimes come in and tell the coach, hey, it's a move day for me. I don't really feel it. I'm here for consistency, and I'm just not, I'm really wiped out for some reason. I didn't eat well. I didn't sleep well. I just had a race or something. So I am here just to move. Totally fine. A lot of times when that happens to me, I will change the movement to make it a harder, more complex movement that forces me to slow down anyway and do less weight, right? So let's say the movement was power snatches. I would change it to a hang squat snatch. So now I'm doing less weight, but I'm doing a bigger range of motion, which is going to slow me down and tire me out in a different way, right? So if you're unsure how to do that, ask the coach. They'll walk you through it. So these are areas: weight, volume, the reps and rounds, the movement difficulty, range of motion, and your pace or intensity. Ways that you can affect the workout so that you can still be there, but express or edit it to fit where you're at today. And as I said, if you're injured or recovering or traveling or whatever, just show up and do something. It's better to keep that consistency, right? All right, so intensity is the key adaptation response that gives you what you're looking for when it comes to CrossFit. So the workouts are varied. They are what do you call that when you do them, this normal work stuff? I can't even think. Constantly very functional. They're functional movements. I use this a lot when I pick up like a 50-pound bag or 40-pound bag of bird feed. You clean and jerk it up to your shoulders, and you can let it, or clean and, get it up to your shoulders. So power clean it right up there to your shoulder, and you can walk out with the bag. So rather than carrying it hug style, I can put it on my shoulder and walk out. And it's a great use, functional movement, doing the clean right up to my shoulder. Okay. So intensity drives adaptation, but consistency drives results. Let me say it again without screwing that up. Intensity drives adaptation, but consistency drives results. So you are getting the adaptation, the mind-body connection, the muscle growth and so forth through the things we are doing, but showing up over and over and over lets that build up on your screen on the results for your personal records and so forth. So you want to show up over everything else. Okay, so on that, showing up is key. You know our rules. We have 2 rules. 1, show up. 2, don't do anything stupid today that'll prevent you to show up tomorrow. So consistency, but on top of that is don't do anything dumb. If you're injured and can't do a thing, then, or you're skipping, or you feel crushed because you went too hard, then there's no momentum, there's no consistency, and it's going to fall apart. So CrossFit would have you do 3 days on, 1 day off. I like that, except that makes an 8-day week, which doesn't exist. So it makes it really hard. Probably the ideal would be something like Rebecca does, or there's a couple other people that do it a little bit different. So she'll take Wednesday off. I like that. Or other people will take Thursday off. So they do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is off. And they come work out Friday, Saturday, and take Sunday off. So now they're a 3-1-2-1, which is pretty close, and puts you back to a 3-day or a 7-day week. I do 5 days on, 2 days off, just because that's how my life was set up with soccer and all that, and it just is super easy. I have been to the gym once or twice on a Saturday in 17 years. Maybe I'll make that consistent as I move out of the child phase into the empty nest phase. I don't know. We'll see. So another thought, just to kind of put in there a little saying, it's better to show up with 70% effort 5 days a week than go 110% twice during that week and burn out, right? So if you're only going to come twice and do 110%, I don't know. If that's all you can do, then sure, go for it. But if you do 110% and you can't come back, then you've missed a big point. So make sure you scale intensity so that you can return, especially in the first month. I always tell people it's a honeymoon month. Take it easy. All right, there's some common things you can do. So an easy one for swapping out is swap out pull-ups and ring rows. That's an easy one. You can change the barbell weight. That's an easy one, right? Replace box jumps with box steps. Another no-brainer. I do that one all the time. And you can move a run to the bike or a row or move those around. Or I do it a lot of times with a jump rope. I don't like it on my the pounding on my knee or the tapping on my knee, so I'll move it to a bike to sort of stimulate that same breathy movement or adaptation that we're looking for. I think the big thing on these options is, one, if you don't know, ask your coach. Dumbbells are a great option as well. They give you a lot more freedom of movement. But scaling and modifying doesn't mean anything about you. You just have to check the ego at the door. Nobody cares. They're just glad you're there. I guess I would say if you feel like people care and they've actually said something to you, email me, let me know. I think the answer is no. I've never heard anybody say they actually said something, right? Usually it's, I just feel people are looking at me funny. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you funny. Did I hit the pause button at the wrong time? That'll be weird. There might be a big, long break between me talking as I was thinking of my thoughts. I'm trying to be more consistent in my delivery. So it means I hit the pause button, organize my thoughts, and then say it. So I might have hit the pause button at the wrong time. And you might have just listened to me read and then think about and look at these pictures about what I was going to say. Anyway, sorry about that if that happened. What I was trying to tell you is habit is key. Celebrate your habits, celebrate showing up, celebrate consistency, because that's what's going to matter. So a piece that I would challenge you with is, I guess the takeaway. What could you do to modify, scale, substitute, etc., to increase your consistency? What could you do in the schedule to increase your consistency? Are you like me where you need to come in the morning? I don't know. I have seen a couple people change their attendance and find that the morning is a little bit easier. Now, if everyone came in the morning, we'd be in trouble because I don't have enough space for everyone to show up to the 4 classes in the morning. But if you can dial in your time or your work or your schedule to make it happen, that is going to be one of the biggest keys you can get out of this. Okay, don't be afraid to scale and modify. Show up. This is what I want you guys to get. If you have questions, man, email me, text me, call me. I'm always here to answer. Coaches have the answer as well. They've been doing this for a while, either CrossFit for a while or coaching for a while, right? And people ask this all the time, so don't be afraid to ask. Don't think to yourself that you are messing up by scaling or modifying. That is not the case. If you are local here in Woodstock, then yes, we have CrossFit Garage. Come to our gym. We usually hover around 100 to 150 members. That's where we like to keep it. Once we get out of those bubbles, weird things happen. So yes, we don't look for everybody. We look for people that fit who we are, happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in our 90s. We're also looking for people who the glass is half full. We look to grow the world, not to detract from the world. So we want happy people. We want homesteady people. That's what I do. I've got chickens and ducks. Well, I don't have ducks anymore. We have chickens. We want people that want to express fitness. Hey, I'm doing some competitive things, some adventure races, some savage races, some Spartan races, whatever. We want to have fun with that. We want people who want to engage, board game night, frisbee disc golf day, Garland Mountain Sporting Clays. We want people that want to engage. We want people that want to build a community. So if you're looking for that, not just healthy and fit, but also like-minded people to go along with you in life, to build community, to build connection, then yeah, we're your people. If you're online or far away and you can't get to us, we do have an online option. See if I can find that here. It is garagefitness.online. So if you go there, you could find our online programming, and we'll probably be editing it a little bit just based on, we've almost been doing it for about 9 months, and we've gotten some interesting feedback, so we'll probably make some changes. Probably nothing that you guys will notice, But yeah, keep looking there. Keep giving us ideas. We're happy to edit and change this thing. So if you're local, come to us. If you're not local, go to the URL crossfitgarage.com/free. Look at the resources. Also, I'm always here to help you. I tell people a lot, I am not really interested in one-on-one coaching. I am interested. I help people all the time. I just don't try to make it a business because people are difficult, and the answers are usually easy. They just don't want to do them. And it hurts when you have people pay you and you tell them to do the thing because you see it and they just don't do it. So I usually tell people I am $1,000 an hour. So if you want to hire me, I will work with you for $1,000 an hour. Yes, I am that good. But if you'll track your food for 2 weeks and review it and then bring me in to review it, I'll help you at least one session for free. There's so much you can learn by looking at your own food. Here's the other thing. If you'll track your food, then I know you'll do the other things. If you won't track your food, then you're not going to do the things I'm going to ask you to do. So why waste our time and your money? So if you want help, there's multiple ways to get it. Again, I am $1,000 an hour. Or log and track your food for 2 weeks for real, not just making it up, but in the app, pick an app, I don't care. And let me know and we'll go through it together for free. I'll give you that gift because you've already done the hard thing. If you want to hire me after that, great. But usually you already have all your answers and you have the path to get it done. You just have to do it. All right, guys, this is Andy McCann here at CrossFit Garage on the podcast where we're trying to help you lay a firm foundation in food, fitness, and finances. Y'all take care.